Often producers or directors will get carried away when producing their movies and insert some rather eye-raising moments, even in children's films. Here are 15 adult references hidden in popular kids' movies. Number 15. The Santa Claus. Tim Allen makes drug reference to Oblivious Child. The Santa Claus, a hilarious family Christmas movie in which Tim Allen murders Santa and steals his job. When Tim Allen's character Scott starts to fly like Santa, his son comments, "Whoa, you're flying!" Scott replies by explaining, "It's okay, I'm used to it. I lived through the 60s. Of course, the implication here is that Scott did a whole load of hallucinogens back in the free and swinging 60s. Number 14. Shrek. Lord Farquaad. Say Lord Farquaad's name over and over again. Can you hear the not-so-subtle joke in his name? Well, apparently Farquaad's name was actually chosen because it sounds extremely similar to fuckwad, one of the lesser-used fuck-based insults. Apparently, multiple sources have confirmed the Shrek writers chose the name in order to slip a rather severe naughty word into the DreamWorks animation. In hindsight, it's rather impressive they got away with it. Number 13. Mrs. Doubtfire. Innuendo Onslaught. Robin Williams apparently slipped in so many risque jokes that there were PG-13, R, and NC-17 rated edits of the movie. One of his most blatant segments of blue humor comes when Mrs. Doubtfire launches an avalanche of sexual innuendo at Stu, including references to Rumple Foreskin and Miranda's bedroom power tool. These scenes in the movie were directly referenced to adults. These levels of the dirty jokes were not meant for children's eyes. Number 12. Mrs. Doubtfire. Chewy Gribbins. Let's stick with Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire for a moment. When Daniel is trying on various pieces of makeup to transform into an elderly lady, he breaks into a Yiddish accent and says the following, "I should never buy gribeens from a mohel. It's so chewy." Gribeens is a kosher dish made from onions and chicken skin, while mohel is a man who performs circumcisions. It's a joke about eating presumably discarded man bits. Number 11. Madagascar. Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Madagascar is a fun family movie in which a bunch of lovable talking critters go on a crazy globe-trotting adventure. However, the writer has managed to add some adult humor. When Marty is being chased by Alex the lion, he turns and exclaims, "Oh, sugar honey iced tea." Look closely at these words to decode the hidden swear word. Here's a hint. It begins with S and ends with T, and has hi in the middle. Number 10. Hercules. Serious mommy issues. Disney's Hercules contains a subtle joke about a son having relations with his own mother. After leaving a theater, Hercules states, "That Oedipus thing? Man, I thought I had problems." Oedipus was a mythical Greek king who, according to legend, killed his own father and married his mother. To be fair, he didn't know it was his mother at the time, which barely makes the whole debauched affair much more palatable. Number 9. Despicable Me. Sticking it to the Lehman Brothers. In Despicable Me, Steve Carell's character Gru takes a trip over the Bank of Evil. However, above the door reads a sign, formerly Lehman Brothers. The Lehman Brothers Holding Incorporated was one of the U.S.'s biggest investment banks before it collapsed back in 2008 due to bankruptcy. As well as being known for its less than ethical business practices, it is also often blamed for the onset of the financial crisis. Number 8. Space Jam. Performance issues. Another joke, which no doubt sailed far over my formerly youthed head, occurred in a pretty bizarre 1996 Looney Tunes NBA mashup, Space Jam. When being interviewed and treated by a psychiatrist, New York Knicks Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing is asked if there were any other areas beside basketball in which he was unable to perform. His defensive response and quick negative reply show they're probably not talking about baseball. Number 7. Ghostbusters 2. Egon's Epididymis. Like Mrs. Doubtfire, the Ghostbusters series was always going to be packed with a little winks to the adults in the audience. But even in my more worldly old age, I still had to resort to Google to get the specifics of this joke from Ghostbusters 2. Peter Venkman asks Egon, "Hi Egon, how's school? I bet those science chicks really dig that large cranium of yours, huh?" Egon answers, "I think they're more interested in my epididymis." Number 6. Pixar's new movie has a gay joke in the trailer. Pixar's Inside Out trailer contains some cheeky humor. In the movie, which centers on a little girl and the living emotions inside her brain, one of the characters asserts that San Francisco is a bear-free zone. As adults who are aware of both San Fran's thriving gay community and the existence of Grindr profile pages, we know that bear in this context is probably not referring to a woodland critter. Number 5. Genie's wedding night orgasm gag in Aladdin. The Aladdin trilogy follows a trajectory similar to Indiana Jones. Aladdin, the King of Thieves' one-liner highlight comes during an earthquake at a wedding. The genie explains, "I thought the earthquake wasn't supposed to come until the honeymoon." Yep, that's a reference to two teenagers achieving climax through intercourse in a direct-to-video Disney cartoon. You know, it makes a surprising amount of sense when you put it all in a sentence like that. Number 4. Offering sex to a bus driver in Hocus Pocus. By the time the Sanderson sisters get resurrected in Hocus Pocus, they've been gone a while. They missed the moon landing, the Walkman, and the point in time where an adult could say they desire children without being put on a government list. The bus driver they talk to is very much interested in the world's ugliest foursome. He answers, "It may take a couple of tries, but I don't think that'll be a problem." Number 3. The Road to El Dorado. In this DreamWorks adventure, two quasi-criminals quest to find a mystical city of gold. Tulio, one of the quasi-criminals, seems to be enjoying the company of a beautiful woman named Shell. In one scene, the camera pans across the couch before Shell appears from below, followed by a satisfied Tulio. Considering the sounds heard before they're interrupted and the fact that their heads pop up from two different places implies something far more adult-like. Number 2. Monster House. Monster House shows how bad things can get when the owner's soul literally merges with his house. When the film's trio of kids losing their basketball on the property leads to a grisly scuffle, the kids decide to investigate inside. The house is modeled after the human anatomy. When the discovery of the house's vulva dangling in the back of the throat leads one kid to realize it must be a female house. Number 1. Muppet Treasure Island. Based on the classic pirate caper, Muppet Treasure Island keeps the original plot, sending Muppets on a search for treasure while navigating pirate-infested waters. One of the film's more risque scenes sees Kermit and Miss Piggy reunite, with a pink pirate discussing her past lovers. She then greets Tim Curry's Long John Silver a little too intimately as Long John, leaving Kermit to assume they've also knocked boots. Hope you liked that video. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and thanks for watching.